As you can tell from the title, we are going to go through a list of the known law breaks and violations that the DHS/Centrelink and Job network agencies get away with. These are laws and violations that the general public would be arrested and possibly jailed for if committed by them. Number 1. Blackmail. Centrelink, DHS, job agencies force the public to do things that they can't do, whether physically, mentally, or in ways beyond the control of the person they are blackmailing. Example: you will be punished for not attending an appointment that for reasons beyond your control. Also, by law it is illegal to force a person to do something that they are uncomfortable doing. In being unable to do the things they are trying to force you to do, they will wrongfully cut off your payments. In other words, they blackmail you by saying do these impossible things or your payments will stop, resulting in homelessness, crimes to survive, and possibly death. Number 2. Bullying. Centrelink, DHS, job agencies will bully you if you refuse to do as they tell you. Due to you can't or won't, they will use several illegal bullying tactics in order to try making you do what they want you to do. Some examples are explaining that due to working you were unable to attend an appointment that you did earlier, inform that you wouldn't be able to make it, only to have your payments cut off. But when explaining the situation, you're told in the exact words, for all we know you were out fishing. Or you explain that you are unable to do something because you are unwell and have been in hospital, only to be asked if you're an inpatient, and when replying no, they say well that's not good enough even if you're due back in hospital the next day. One last example is being asked for all your payment slips from working, and when going back for them they are gone and you're told in the exact words we don't have them or even use them. Number 3. Lying. Centrelink, DHS, job agencies will lie to you or hold back information that you are entitled to. Some examples are: they will tell you that you can't appeal unlawful decisions at all or within a certain amount of time. They will tell you that you are not allowed to record your meeting when in fact by law in Victoria and most other states you can legally record any conversation you are in and do not have to inform them. They will also lie and tell you that they have a medical background, so therefore know what is best for you, and take on pretend roles like saying that they are an authorized review officer when they are not. There's endless examples I can come up with here, but we would be going on forever. Number 4. Slavery. Yes, it's true, they will force you to do modern day slavery. They call this work for the dole. Some people may say that this isn't slavery, it's working for your welfare payments. But no, you are wrong, as every Australian citizen is entitled to a government payment. And work for the dole is a dangerous scam made just to force people to work, usually for corrupt organizations, without having to pay them, often in very dangerous and even injury-causing and deadly conditions. 2 examples of this are people being forced to clean up asbestos-contaminated areas, or the death of Josh Park Fing, an 18-year-old teen who was forced into the work for the dole slavery scheme while suffering from back issues. Number 5. Occupational health and safety violations. They violate several occupational health and safety laws. Some examples are forcing drug or medicated people work or attend things that no one drug affected, alcohol or medication affected should be attending. They also force physically, mentally disabled or ill people into situations that they should not be in or can't handle, dangerous conditions, few to no breaks, forced to attend anxiety-provoking appointments, ignoring safety issues and concerns resulting in injury or even death, as proven, are just a few of the law-breaking violations to do with work-related issues or even attending appointments that they commit. Number 6. Murder. They murder people. No, not with a knife or a gun etc. that I know of. Who knows, they probably do that too. But we do know that they do it a little differently, with the result still being murder. How do they do it? Well, there's a few ways. One way is looking back at number 1. They start with blackmail, and when they cut off your payments, you can't pay your rent, you can't pay your bills, you can't buy food, you can't support your family, so you and your family end up homeless, freeze to death in the cold, or starve to death. Or you turn to crime as a result of having to get money to feed yourself and family, which puts your life at more risk with people defending their belongings and money. You may be killed, or you may accidentally kill or injure someone that catches you out. Or you are caught and arrested, resulting in your family, if you were supporting a family, to lose their provider, which will eventually result in their deaths. There is also when wrongfully cutting off a medication-dependent person. When having their payments cut off, there's no way of them being able to buy their life-saving medication or pay for medical appointments, so they die. And my final example here, although there are several more, is the cases of stress they put onto people that is so bad that they believe that they have no choice but to commit suicide. One example of this is the case of Reese Cauzo, a 28-year-old man that suicided due to Centrelink-related stress. It's clearly obvious that there are several more cases like this, but they're quick to cover them up. Number 7. Death and injury by neglect. There are several people that should be on disability payments and several people that shouldn't be that are. What they have done now without telling people is make it so that in most cases they won't accept a medical certificate from your GP. It now has to be a medical certificate from a specialist that barely anyone on welfare can afford to see, and that has to be written out in cryptic Centrelink language before they will accept it. I have personally seen them turn an obvious stroke victim away. I was disgusted to see such a thing, and it is for reasons such as this that I and we need to fight. Number 8. Fraud. They will often wrongfully fill out or process whole or partial forms and claim that you did it. The reasons for this are usually to cover up a crime that they have committed or a mistake that they have made, so rather than them getting in trouble for this, they will pin it onto you, resulting in fines, debts or prison time. Number 9. Wrongful debts. Basically stealing. They have and do often send out wrongful debts that you then have to go through a grueling process of trying to prove your innocence. But they won't prove that you owe them. In most cases, even when you do prove your innocence, they will still enforce the wrongful debt. I can confirm this from personal experience. When you refuse to pay back a wrongful debt, they will steal it from other means. Some examples of this is stealing it from your tax returns or taking it from your fortnightly payments, all without permission. Number 10. Duty of care violations. They will always tell you that they will take your personal issues into consideration. This is one of the biggest lies that they tell. The truth is they don't care about you, they just want you doing what they want you to do. A personal example is, I have a permanent back injury going on my 11th year that is never-ending distracting pain, and that at any time just from making a wrong move as simple as picking up a cat will instantly paralyze me, as well as putting me in excruciating pain for so far between 1 week and 3 months. But even with a mountain of medical evidence and doctors' requests, they not only refuse me disability, but after attending a job capacity assessment sent me twice to non-disability job agencies that both exited me after the first appointments due to the severity of my back injury. I also cannot take painkillers due to allergies and am fully drug and alcohol free. The last time I had a job capacity assessment, I well within my legal rights, although not having to have said anything, I informed them that I will be recording that appointment, so that this time, unlike the last several times, I would have proof that they do not take personal issues into consideration. They refused to run the appointment if I was recording, so I angrily stood up, said loudly that I am tired of being screwed over, and walked out. They then wrongfully put through that my job capacity assessment was complete and that I was fully capable of working. So then began the fight to have that assessment revoked, which did eventually happen. During this time I was forced to attend a job agency, Work Solutions, that even with all of my medical evidence ignored my concerns and tried to make me do work that I couldn't do. Due to my refusal to do what they wanted me to, I was listed as mentally ill and told to attend an organization called ACSO, who then referred me to another organization called Within Australia. Unfortunately for them though, and obviously not their intentions, this has worked out in my favor, and helped me to have the job capacity assessment classed as a violation and resulting it in being revoked. The problem now is, even though the job capacity assessment has been revoked, they are still trying to force me to attend corrupt job agency appointments that I do not legally have to attend without having done a job capacity assessment, but still cut me off illegally when I refuse to attend the job agency appointments. There's thou sounds more stories of Centrelink, DHS, job agencies neglecting people, but I believe I have gotten the point across already. Number 11. Giving out private information. There has been several cases of Centrelink, DHS, job agencies giving out people's private information to random people and agencies, including at least one known pedophile. Number 12. Cryptic codes. When putting in a Freedom of Information request, they will send you the information that you ask for, but most of it won't be in English format. It will be in mostly cryptic numeral code that is unreadable. If they are doing this with Freedom of Information requests, it shows that they are obviously hiding something, and means that they would be doing this in other document requests also. Number 13. Hacking. They will hack you to spy on your activities. This is so that they can try to catch you out working when you said you haven't been, in a relationship when you've said you're not, etc. But the problem is, not only is hacking an illegal crime, but they always get it wrong, and then you again are forced to prove your innocence. It is for this reason I have not added the MyGov app to my phone, as I believe it to be a key gateway to access all my phone information. Number 14. They cover up their crimes, as you can see by going to the link https://www.buzzfeed.com/aliceworkman/work for the Dole report I will also put in the description. They cover up their crimes, which makes you wonder just how many they have successfully managed to cover up, blame on someone else, or make it look like an accident. Number 15. Unconfirmed but highly possible, they will pay off the media to brainwash the public. You may have noticed that with all of these crimes they commit, there should be so much more news or media coverage of the subjects listed here. But it always seems to be the opposite, where most probable innocent people are being accused of violations against Centrelink, like taking more money that they're entitled to, etc. But in the cases where this actually happened, no one ever asks the question of why. Why did you take more than you were entitled to take? Why were you hiding this, etc.? Most of these people would have very legitimate reasons for doing this. An example is that they needed the extra money to pay for medical expenses but didn't realize that they could apply for an advanced payment, etc. But then there's the question of why is it that you hardly ever see news of all of the broken laws and violations by Centrelink, DHS, job agencies? It makes you wonder, with knowing that they do cover up their crimes, do they pay off the media to not show the bad things about them, or just enough small things to keep the public from catching on to bigger issues? It is for these reasons we need to stand up and protest. As government is supposed to be working for the people, not the people working for the government. And why is it that they can break laws and we can't?